made it through HTML. We've got our foundation built. Now, let's make it pretty and learn some CSS. Welcome to Coding with Carla. CSS is an amazing tool that I love to play with. It's a markup language that works with HTML to become the user interface of a website. We're not going to learn it all today or tomorrow. I'm still learning it every day, and it's wonderful. I love it. But let's get going. We're going to start with the header of our website, and today we're going to figure out how to get that awesome background image in there. Let's go over some CSS basics. We have IDs and classes. IDs are unique. Each ID should only be used once per page, and each ID should only be used one time per element. Within the styles, ID is represented with a hashtag. In this example, we've got hashtag demo, which is going to set that element to the background color of red. And classes are a little bit different. You can use classes on multiple elements. In addition, you can use multiple classes within the same element, which is going to be great. Now, within the styles, a class is represented with a period. In this example, we have .demo, and that's setting the margin to 10 and the padding to 8. And we'll get into those specifics in just a bit. Here we are back in our HTML file with absolutely no styles applied at all, except that there are. Every browser has its own CSS preset in every website, but we're going to overwrite all of that and set our own CSS up. So let's go back into our Atom file, and here it is, our plain HTML, and we're going to start adding in some CSS. I want you to jump into the head of your site, and right below the word title, add in a new tag and type in style. What this allows us to do is put CSS directly into our website from the HTML file. This isn't how we're going to do it all the time, but for demonstration purposes, this is how I want you to see it so you can see them work together. We're going to focus on the header inside the body. First thing we're going to do, just to make sure everything's working, is change the background color. So let's set up an ID with the hashtag, and we'll say demo. And then we're going to do an open curly brace and a closing curly brace. You want everything that belongs to that ID within those braces. So first thing we're going to do is background color. And what's that going to do? Change the background color. So let's throw in blue, because I like the color blue. And we'll go ahead and, I was going to save it, but let's hold off for a second. We want to assign this ID to our header. So within that header tag, that opening header tag, you're going to add in ID equals quotes and then the word demo. So now let's go ahead and save this. You can see here we have hashtag demo, which means the ID of demo. And we've set background color to blue. And now we've told this header, hey, I want your entire header to be blue. So let's see if it listened to us. There it is. We have a blue header. Outstanding. It works. Now if we go back into Atom, we can actually add to this ID. All of that text was black on top of blue background. That doesn't look great, right? So let's change that font color. So in the next line, I'm going to add the word color, and what color does is it changes the font color. That specifies whatever the font color is going to be. And let's just make that white. And we'll save again and just take one more look. There we go. Boom. We have white text. But wait, look at this. We have all of these links and they're still blue. Why is that? Like I said before, every browser has their own CSS and it's defaulting all links to be blue. but we can change that with a class because you can apply classes to multiple elements. So let's jump in there and do that real quick. So you've got this ending curly brace, and right below that is where we're going to add our new class. So we're going to use a dot to signify a class. We'll call this one links. We'll do an open and closing curly brace, and we'll put all of our content inside of there. Well, all we really want to do here is just update our color. So let's go color, and we'll try pink. So let's apply this class inside each one of these A tags. So we'll go class equals links. And that's all there is to that. And you can actually paste that into each one of these. There we go. So now you can see we have a class set on each one of these specific A tags. And if we did everything right, we should have some pink links coming up. Let's take a look. There we go. We have pink links, white text, and a blue background. And that was all within the header of our website in just a few lines. Outstanding. Okay. So I've cleared out all of the sample CSS that we typed in there, and now we're going to focus on making this look more like this. And today we're only going to focus on this background image, and then next time we're going to work on the nav, and we'll continue on until we get this all clean and looking nice. So first let's just focus on this background image, and we're going to jump into Atom, and I still have our style in the head here. Now, down the road, we're going to actually move this to an external style sheet, but for training purposes, we're going to keep the style in the head of our HTML. So let's first look at what we want to do. We want to add a background image to the header. It's only going to happen this one time, so let's make it an ID, and we'll actually call it top BKGD for background. Then we'll do opening and closing curly braces. And now let's look at the background itself. We're going to add in the word background. And to add in a background image, you use URL in parentheses. And then inside of those parentheses, we're going to add quotes. Now we need to add in the path to that image. For us, this is going to be images / top hyphen bkgd .jpg, and then we're going to add in a semicolon at the end to let it know we're done with our sentence. So from here I can go ahead and save this, but nothing's going to happen yet because we haven't told this what it applies to. Let's go ahead and apply this to our header. So in this opening header tag, I'm going to add ID equals quotation marks top hyphen BK GD, and we'll save. And now if we did everything right, when we refresh, we have an image. Now it's not sized properly and it doesn't look right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Next thing we are going to do is background hyphen size, and we're going to set this to cover. Why cover? Well, when we set this to cover, we're telling the browser to make sure this image covers the entire container, and in this case the container is going to be the header. So no matter what the dimensions are, we want this image to cover. It might crop it a little bit, it might have to take some stuff out or even stretch it on larger. But no matter what, it's going to cover inside of that container. And that's what we want here. And the next step that we're going to use is background position. And we're going to center this image because we want that dog's head right in the middle because that's where it's at in the picture and it looks great. So let's go ahead and save here and see how close we're getting. If I refresh, okay, we have the dog right in the center. It still doesn't look exactly right though, does it? Let's jump back into Atom. What we want to do here is we want to tell the browser that header has to be a certain height at all times. Now we're going to use the viewport height. Now there's different options that you can use. There's pixels, there's percentages, but we're going to use the viewport height. So let's use height, colon, we're going to say 75 VH. Now it's telling the browser 75 of the viewport height is what we want. 100 would be the whole thing. We just want 75 so that it's actually showing most of our browser here. So let's save again and see what we have. Okay, we are almost there. Look at how good this looks. The one thing that we're missing is that we have all of this white space outside of this image, and we don't want that, do we? In our other example, it goes edge to edge. Remember, I said that browsers have their own default CSS, and the default CSS is telling here they want a margin. So let's go ahead and take that away, and we're going to do a special technique to take it away from everything, and this is pretty common practice. So the very first style we're going to use is going to be the asterisk. And this is saying all elements on this page, on this page are going to be affected by what we say here. We're going to do open and closing curly braces. And now let's set our margin to 0 and our padding again to 0. And this is telling it we don't want, unless we tell it you otherwise, there will be no margin and no padding. And if my calculations are correct, look at that. Boom, we have our background image all set up, and it did not take a whole lot of code, did it? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code, an image, and then we just had to clear out some browser defaults, and that's it. We have a background image for our brand new website. I hope you're starting to enjoy yourself building this website. It's starting to take shape, and that's really exciting. We're going to put the brakes on for now. We've got the background image up, and that was our goal for today. Next time, we're going to hit the navigation and make that look really nice. Check out my nuggets of know. This is going to be a great resource for small pieces of information. I'm going to talk to you about the box model. I'll talk to you about CSS selectors and a whole lot more. We're going to move on. We're going to make this site look amazing, and I can't wait to do it next time with you on Coding with Carla.